Hello everyone, welcome back to Shining Brighter. My name's Nick. Just wanted to say thank everyone for being here. I appreciate any views, any time you give, and I hope that you get something out of the videos. It's the whole purpose of the channel. So anyway, if you have the opportunity, like, comment, subscribe, help my channel to grow so I can reach out and help as many people as possible. But today's topic, why so cynical? This applies to a lot of different things in life, and I think in general, more than ever, people are very cynical these days about anything that looks like it's good or healthy or, potentially a happy thing for them. The amount of cynicism and skepticism, it's really kind of sad to see, and unfortunately, even though I understand sometimes where it comes from, a lot of times I just look and I'm like, does that person or do those people realize what they're possibly throwing away because of their cynicism? I'm going to talk specifically about relationships for this one, because it happens to me quite a bit. I know some of the reasons behind what happens, but there's a part of me that still says, why wouldn't you at least give it a try? Because you never know what you might be throwing away, something that could be amazing for you. So, it comes to relationships, I haven't had a lot of success as far as them being healthy long term. I've met some fantastic people, I've had a lot of fun with some people, and unfortunately, in the end, pretty much always turns out the same way. This is not a poor me or, an attention grab or anything like that. It's just my observations of how things go. And, I genuinely have empathy and sympathy for the people that this happens to. Most of the time, in my case, when I get involved with somebody, I show them who I am as a person, as a man, my true authentic self. And if I like them, I will show them, how I feel about them. And part of that is actions instead of just words. I do speak a lot, and I speak genuinely about how I'm feeling about things. And to some, they find it hard to believe that I'm being honest, and I'm not just feeding a line or BSing or whatever the case may be. No matter what I do to show them through my actions, it doesn't seem to matter. In my last relationship, I was actually asked 3 separate times if I was real. And I get it, the person had been through some pretty bad relationships, much like I had. And it can be hard to believe that, that good thing has finally come in for you. And I understand that. But at the same time, excuse me, getting bit by bugs here. At the same time, if what I'm showing you, the actions I'm taking, the things that I'm telling you and proving to you that I'm genuine, why wouldn't you, take the chance to run with that? Part of that is everybody has some kind of trauma. Whether you're healed or not, everybody's gone through something. And it can be hard to overcome that trigger that sets you on a path of self-sabotage, even if you have something good that's going on. And triggers are powerful. Trauma is powerful. And not everybody is able to handle those things in the same way. Some people can recognize that they finally have something good, and they can talk with that person and say, hey, look, I recognize that this is good and healthy and you are who you say you are, but I have to be honest with you, I'm struggling with you and this relationship because I have these triggers and I have these traumas. If you can do that, then you have a very strong chance of using that communication and the care you have for one another to help you guys get past that. And anybody that can't, I'm not faulting them. I'm not saying that, they're weak or anything derogatory, because I don't know, I'm not them. I didn't go through what they did. So I can't judge, nor would I, because again, who am I to judge? But I guess my point is, when you've had so much bad in your life and something finally comes in that is so good for you, instead of thinking it's too good to be true, take the time to vet the situation. Don't try to test people or push boundaries or see what you can get away with. If you trust the person, talk to them. Communication is so important in relationships, no matter what type of relationship it is. Because if neither side knows what's going on, there's nothing that can be done to help the situation. But like I said, everybody's so cynical these days that nobody or very few people seem willing, able, or wanting to believe that something good has finally come for them. No matter what the proof is, what the actions taken are, how much the person tries. And in a situation like that, the other person is just not going to be able to overcome that without you working on the reasons that you're cynical and skeptical. And, I was having this conversation with my therapist, and I said, I just don't understand it. Again, to a degree. I said, I thought I was going to have trouble opening up to somebody. After everything I've been through, the bad relationships, the harm done, and like many people, I went through some pretty dark times because of the way I was treated. And I said, these are things that I did to show my person that I was genuine, that I was honest, that I was opening myself up to them, that I wanted to build something stable and long-term, and, that I was excited to be with them because I could see what I saw as their worth and their value. And she looked at me and she said, it's really sad that people are so afraid of happiness, so afraid to take the chance, and so afraid to believe in good things in their lives. It's almost like, again, they see it as too good to be true. They get scared, they run away, and they may have just thrown away something amazing. And what a shame that is. Now, in my case, I'm not upset. I don't hate the person. I don't wish them ill. On the contrary, the only thing I can say is that I'm disappointed, because the connection was very strong. And even though it didn't pan out as I had hoped, I know that the other person saw it as well, through some of their actions, and quite honestly, looking into their eyes, you can tell a lot. But you can't overcome somebody else's traumas. They have to do the work. They have to want to. They have to have the strength and the courage to do so. And I really hope at some point that those people, that have either wronged me, intentionally tried to harm me somehow, or ran away from the connection out of fear of their traumas and triggers, I really wish them the strength, the courage, and the fortitude to do what they need to do, so that they will become the healthier version of themselves that will allow them to recognize something good coming into their life, and instead of running away from it, they embrace it, they take the chance, and hopefully they end up really happy. Because I've said this before, if all you do is wish ill on those that hurt you without understanding or knowing why they did, or what traumatic or emotional things happen in their lives to make them the way they are, then they'll never get better. It's not your job to heal anybody, nor can you heal anyone. You can't fix anybody. They have to do it. But what you can do is you can offer forgiveness and strength and grace, and hope, even if it's not from you, even if you just ask the universe to send it because you're just, you're too hurt, too angry, or whatever the case may be, to send your energy. They can never change. And if they can never change, they can never become better. And what they did to you, they will continue to do to others. And the others may not be as strong as you were. So if you're one of those people who is cynical or skeptical, when something good comes into your life, maybe sit down and, in a moment of quiet with yourself, and think about, what you have presented in front of you. Look at the words, see if the actions back up those words, and take accountability for yourself and say, do I really need to be scared of this or this person and run away because I'm waiting for them to hurt me? Or is it me being triggered and thinking, that it's better to give it up than take the chance? Because again, you never know what you might throw away. There's a lot of reasons and a lot of things going on in the world for people to be cynical and skeptical. And again, I get it. I'm not judging anybody. I just want to see better things for everybody. So instead of just letting yourself get triggered over and over and over again, or being cynical and running away, or whatever the case is that you do to self-sabotage, take the chance to go to counseling or therapy, or speak with somebody that's, always been very clear-minded and understands you, and do the work to heal yourself, because you deserve it. You deserve to be healed, you deserve to be happy, and you deserve to be excited about something wonderful coming into your life instead of being cynical and running away from it. I'm sure everybody's got regrets about, people or opportunities that they didn't take because they were skeptical or cynical. How many of those do you want to have in your life? I think it's much better to take the chance on something wonderful, and even if it doesn't pan out, you took the chance and you tried. And maybe in everything there's always a lesson as to why things happen. It's not just because somebody did you wrong or you're worried about something. And there's always a lesson to look for, and the lessons are there to heal you and make you better. So again, to anybody who's in that mind frame, take action for yourself. It's not for anybody else, it's for you. Take the action needed to heal. Stop being cynical. Stop being skeptical. Stop getting triggered. And start welcoming in the beautiful things in your life, because they're all around you and they're waiting, but your negative energy is keeping them out. And if you don't believe me, try that positivity. Try healing. Try giving good things a chance. I guarantee you'll be seeing things in a better way. So, as always, know your value, know your worth, respect yourselves. I see you all for who you really are, and I truly do love you all for it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.